Right, last but not least, go on, we're nearly there. Bioficers.
Bioficers, yes.
Once again, not our area of expertise, but we can read things out to a camera.
I've played against them.
Yeah, multiple times.
Not so much.
Okay, fair enough. I've played against them a little bit, and I've played against them recently. Played against Luke's Bioficers at Factorum on Sunday, so some of this is still fresh in my head. Abilities first of all. So forcing an unfair fight used to be a little bit weird, in that both you and your opponent rolled a d6 and added that many battalions to a contested drop site. It was weird. It wasn't always useful. I think I'm remembering that correctly. Its main niche was using it with Janitor Tower shenanigans to put some more troops on a drop site and then make them kill each other and get even more.
Yep.
It doesn't do that anymore. Now you start activation phase, pick a drop site you can test, add a friendly battalion to every feature on that drop site. At the beginning of the cleanup step at the end phase, basically the end of the round, remove a friendly battalion from each feature on that drop site. So kind of like elite ground forces in some ways, you temporarily boost your damage output, or in this case, your resilience as well with battalions, but at the end it all clears.
Yeah. Nicely different to the Scourge one.
Yeah. It's the Scourge I'm thinking about, isn't it? Not
yeah,
ground forces.
Scourge assimilated bioforms gives you D3 extra battalions that only last until the end of the round.
Right.
But you can have them be the ones that die, and then
Sure.
you don't lose them at the end of the round because they're already dead because you've sent in the newly assimilated forms. Whereas Bioficers, that's a debt you have to pay off.
Yeah. What's interesting about this is that when you attack from a drop site, you select all of your battalions, and they either attack the drop site or they attack a feature. So if the opponent has, in this case, say, 3 single temporary battalions on 3 different features, for this round, if it's, say, a scoring round, and they've just got a massive chunk of troops on the center drop site, they can't clear the Bioficer player, because it can only hit one feature.
But this doesn't help you, because you then lose them again at the end of the round. What it helps is if that scenario is reversed, if you've got 1 battalion on each of 3 features and the Bioficer's got the big blob.
Right, yes.
Suddenly, a Bioficer battalion pops up on each feature, kills your battalion, and then they fall apart if they weren't already dead.
Okay, right. You are correct. I'm tired.
Yep.
But yes, that either way, potentially useful. Precision Strike it was egregious, and then it was probably nerfed into being not very useful, and now it's back to probably okay. It's now 2 action points. Pick a weapon system, improve the lock by 1. And then unsportsmanlike behaviour has gone down in cost, down to 3 AP. During this round's cleanup phase, all players retain any unspent AP from the round into the next round. In the next round, I think this is the change, only players that have used this ability this round can generate AP in the planning phase. So if you're up against someone who doesn't have this ability, which is most people, you spend 3 points, you keep any change, and you also gain points next round, your opponent does not. But they also get to carry over anything they haven't spent at that point. I can see some fun mind games happening with that. Because the Bioficer player gets to look at how many AP each player has and then decide to use it or not at the end of the round.
Yes. Yeah, that could be fun, but finishing around with 3 admiral points is a chunk of change.
Yeah. But I guess...
But there's nothing that stops you doing it again the next round. So if you've had 4, spend 1, spend 3 on this, next turn your opponent who'd spent all of their admiral points still doesn't get any.
Yeah, and you get your full set that round.
You go back up to 4, save 3 for doing this, you get to spend a point in the turn.
Yeah.
Ooh!
If you've got your admiral in a Vanguard ship, like a battlecruiser, have them start on the board, that gives you 4 AP. What are you spending AP on round 1? A reroll, maybe. And then round 2, when the action starts, you go, cool. I generate AP this round, you don't.
And then the opposing admiral arrives and can't generate AP.
Yeah. Lots of potential for, as it says, unsportsmanlike behaviour. What else have we got? Atom, one of the named admirals, got a couple of buffs to basically make him usable. Beforehand, he was really, really not very good. Now, his bombardment weapon will never remove troops from a drop site that has a Janitor Tower. Or, sorry, will not remove them from the Janitor Tower, even.
Yep.
So you can tilt the ground battle in your favour, and he also gained an anti-ship version of his weapon, as well as his bombardment version. This is a big one, and is going to instantly break a particular Bioficer build, probably for the better. Torpedoes are faster, which is nice. They're now thrust 12, but they disappear in the end phase. They do not stick around. The one of the go-to Bioficer builds currently is Torpedo Cell Spam.
Yep.
Where you just flood the board, because they're not limited, with infinite torpedoes, and yeah, it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
You're going to have to find something else.
If you want to see what my fight, flight, freeze reaction is, the freeze reaction was exhibited when I'd got to the end of reading the first line of increased torpedoes thrust from 9 to 12. That sounded terrifying, but then, yeah, absolutely, that second paragraph is huge.
Yeah. It's still 18-inch strike range from a cell, which is sometimes going to be outside retaliation range, in effect. And the torpedoes are still decent. I think they've got Corruptor. And again, nothing other than ships exploding blocks a torpedo. So they're still going to be very usable. But the old build is dead. Probably for the best.
Yeah, you can't sit at the back pumping out a wave and having that hit turn 3 or turn 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
Janitor Tower went down in points. But now, doesn't matter how many towers you have on a drop site. If you have one or more Janitor Towers on a drop site, you gain 2 battalions when it triggers.
Yep.
I think you could use previously towers to trigger other towers, and it was very silly. The Supercell and the Prism can both combine their Aegis as if they were in a group. As long as they're within 6 of each other.
Yeah. Nice, but not world shaking.
Yeah. The Summoner Cell explicitly ignores intervening scenery, so you can now teleport wings, moving them up to 18 inches away. But they do not counter moving through scenery with that move. Which is nice.
Yep.
Logics are now a more convenient group size because you get 2 in a box, and they were group size 1 to 3.
They used to be rare.
They used to be rare. They're not rare anymore. Which
they are still rare.
They are still rare?
Nothing
yes, they are. Nothing there is removing rare. Yes. You're right. Never mind. Ignore us. They were at one time not going to. They were going to not be rare anymore, but no, they are still rare. Okay, and then we're into the actual ships.
Yeah, so light vices have had an across-the-board change.
Yes.
Boosts up their average damage, and it makes it a whole lot less spiky. They've got a bunch more attacks, but a bunch less damage.
Yeah. Yeah, so it should be a lot more consistent, a lot less frustrating to use. They've gained focus, at least on the basic light vice, which I guess means you can avoid an escort, which is nice.
Yep.
Barbs have gone from Reeve 1 to Reeve 2, so they're even pokier at punching through armor.
That's quite spicy. Yeah, I like that.
High damage as well.
Monitors have got faster, given the horrific core damage bombardment monitor. That's quite scary.
Yep.
And the Monarch has got 50% more launch.
Nice. The Matrix, if memory serves, was a bit of a weird one where no one was quite sure what it's supposed to be armed with. It previously had torpedoes. Now it has boarding pods, which is cool. It launches 2 boarding pods. It's a dedicated boarding craft. I don't think I've ever seen a Matrix. I'm not sure if it'll ever get in range to board anything at thrust 6, but in principle, it has its uses. Are you checking what it used to be?
Yes. I'm confused by the line that says increase boarding pods load from 1 to 2.
I think was it torpedo load previously 1?
It was, yes. It was Oh, okay.
So replace one torpedo with one boarding pod, and then replace it from 1 to 2 boarding pods.
Okay, yes. So you're changing the word torpedo to boarding pods, and you're changing the launch value from 1 to 2.
Yes, in a
Okay,
roundabout fashion.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's late, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Sides getting more attacks, and in combination with the change to the Admiral ability, I think that's still okay, because I think them changing to Reeve instead of Burn Through, which was last balance pass, I think that still makes them fine. I quite like that.
On release,
Bioficers,
they were
the thing that cuts ships in half can only cut one ship in half at a time.
Which makes sense. But again, it'll bypass an escort.
Yep.
Again, same trends there for heavy light vices. So more shots, lower damage, but higher maximum and average damage.
Yeah, that's quite a buff to the average. That's going from 6 maximum up to 10 maximum.
Yep, it's quite frightening.
That's 50 odd % increase.
Yeah, and I believe all sides have gone from Fusillade 2 to Fusillade 3. As you said earlier, a bit harder to actually get it on target now because Weapons Free has limitations, but if you can, you'll be rewarded for the effort. The ghost orbs are more accurate. They are the status weapons. Yes, they are.
Yep.
Close action status. Obviously, status isn't anywhere near as horrific as it used to be. That's actually one of the biggest nerfs, if you like, to Sheltari, is they had loads of status weapons. They still do have loads of status weapons, but they are nowhere near as horrific as they used to be. Save applies here, but its locks improve, so you'll apply the status more often at least. Cavern, Combine. Not sure what with, but I assume that's a typo.
No, Combine is a
ship
type. It should have the blue
yes,
font.
That makes sense. Okay. Again, so Barbs up to Reeve 2 is what we've seen.
Yeah.
So think at a glance, basically, every weapon choice, every weapon choice I can think of has been improved, or not every, most of all. Sides, more shots for Fusillade. Light vices, higher average damage, higher max damage, less spiky. And Barbs improved
Reeve. Yeah.
So pretty significant firepower increases, which is probably a good thing because they felt a bit toothless as the last balance pass, I think.
Yeah.
They've defaulted to the torpedo spam build because, according to some bio players, that's all they had. This should add a bit more variety back in.
Then we get to a few other changes. So, battleships, 4+ backup saves.
Nope.
Is there any 4+ backup saves left in the game?
Yes, I think he said confidently. No. Even the resistant ships lost it. There might be a cell that's got a 4-up backup. Actually, I could be wrong.
Okay, but when you've only got 1 or 2 damage, that's a bit less.
Yeah.
Than the high 20s of battleships.
Exactly.
Death.
Regardless of how the maths works out, I don't know if you had the pleasure of playing against the 4+ backup save battleship. No, it's just a miserable experience. I appreciate that it's basically just a whole multiplier mathematically, but it often meant it didn't feel like it was worth shooting at the ship because you could fire big guns and they could just bounce. Obviously, that can always be the case. But yeah, nice to see it go away. They're still great. They have lower hull than most, but the bio battleships are 6.6. That's the signature of most cruisers.
Yep.
And they still have a 3-up energy, 3-up kinetic. So they're still taking some abuse before they collapse.
Yeah, they are only hull 17.
Yeah.
Which is... Yeah.
If I compare them to UCM1, they are 3 fewer hull, 1 better energy save. That's 6.6 rather than 6.10.
Yeah.
Which doesn't seem unreasonable. And they've gained some firepower increases in return. Because again, we're seeing the same thing. The Grand Bisector is now 5 damage, 3 shots with focus. So again, it should carve through enemy capital ship. It'll absolutely carve through cruisers.
Yeah.
The Giga Winnower, which will be one of the most fun named weapons in the game, which I think is just an absurd number of shots, is also now caliber L, so it has a specific role. Have you seen how many shots it is?
15 shots, Fusillade 5.
Okay. Lock. What lock is it?
3+.
So, okay, so 20 2+ lock shots versus light ships if you really want them to go away.
Yep.
They will. They will go away.
they will vanish, and it's energy damage as well. So I don't think there's any light ships that's got a fantastic energy save.
I don't think so. But yeah, that's it. No major points changes. None of the battleships change in points other than the Brutal that got cheaper, which is the Giga Winnower standard battleship rather than super battleship, if memory serves.
Yeah.
And again, all of the battle cruisers gained Vanguard 6 as well.
So Bioficers, I don't understand how they're supposed to work. I mean, most fleets, you've got your cruiser hull dropships, which have got a bit of robustness to them. They can hang around and survive. Or you've got your frigate strike carriers that can hide in Atmo. Bioficers don't have either of those. They've got their logics and they've got their cells, which have to stay in orbit.
Yeah.
And they're quite squishy. And their guns are great and they can dish out the damage, but kill the enemy faster than they can kill your super squishy things isn't a play I can see how it works. I mean, obviously it doesn't. There's people out there winning with them, but I think I need to play more. I need to play against more Bioficers and figure out how that works.
Yeah, I agree. I've not really seen how they're supposed to work either, and interestingly, nothing in this addresses that.
No.
Logics are you can take them in bigger groups now.
What, one more per group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are still rare, so that adds 2 logics.
Game.
No.
Yeah.
There's still no way to really protect cells. I mean, this is coming from 2 people who don't play Bioficers and barely played against them. So again, we're quite possibly missing a trick here. It might be you play them very conservatively because I think you are almost as good a scan as Sheltari and also Tiny Signature. So maybe you don't drop at all until round 3. Or even round 4 potentially, and you don't commit your cells until late. But if you're keeping your cells on board your cruisers, well, your cruisers are made of tissue paper, so if the opponent does shoot them, they do die. And if they die with cells on board, that's the game potentially. Yeah, it's interesting. I'd be interested to know how they are supposed to work because we had quite a few bounce passes now, and that's okay. One of them they went from hull 1 to hull 2 on their cells, which was significant and still potentially not significant enough. It might be this will bring them back to how they were at release, where they have such blistering firepower, they can clear the enemy faster, or clear them off the ability to drop, and then bring in their drop later, almost as an afterthought.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we'll have to get Gareth and other Dan to play some buyers on the channel and help us figure out how they're supposed to play and what we're missing. Leaving aside the lack of changes to drop, it looks like a pretty good bounce pass for Bioficers.